Okay, I think that's a good enough intro. Hello, everybody. Anybody watching, listening, watching this later? Welcome to the next sun tracking seminar. This is going to be an explanation of what you need to do the sun tracking and a description of what you can expect whilst we're doing the sun track. So what I'm going to do, if I can ask Chris Truthseeker and Vincent P to free up their mics, to open the mics, and Chris, if you would switch on your camera too. Will one of you, Chris, I will pass controls to you if you don't already have them, and if you can screen share me when I've passed. So I'm sharing controls, there you go. And also Vincent, I'm sharing controls with you. If you can, if you can present me, Chris, when I'm when I'm sharing, okay? So I will present you, that way we won't accidentally give out the link, okay? So if you will present yourself to everyone, or I will present you to everyone.
Hello.
Hello, Vincent. How are you doing? Right.
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good, good. We might be having Karen. Karen might join us. So, okay.
That's always nice.
Yes. Now, listen, I have here, I have present to everyone. If I hit present to everyone, am I immediately going to share out the link, or will it not?
Yes, you will. So you have to...
so I have to... I'll wait for Chris to present me, yeah?
No, you have to go over to what you want to present, because you're presenting the link right now.
Okay, so I want to share screen, so stop. So I want to share my screen, okay? And I start screen share, and now it says stop or present to everyone. So Chris, if you take over and you present somebody else, I will hit present to everyone, but I don't know what's going to happen. Do you get me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm presenting Vinny now.
Okay, cool. So I'm now presenting to everyone. Now, oops, 1 second. Okay, now you can present me.
Yeah, you already presented.
Okay, so this is Palmas in Brazil, state of Tocantins. I have somebody sent me an email with a video, and he did his sun tracking there earlier today, and hopefully he will join us live on Saturday and show us the same. So what I will do, and Chris, Vincent, anybody else who's helping out, is when somebody joins us and says, hey, I'm in Puerto Rico, okay? So we will come here, we will write Puerto Rico, and that will take us to Puerto Rico, okay? If they want to be more specific, then they can be more specific, and we can do this. And then we will have a presentation of where they are on Earth, okay? Then we will take their reading, we will plot their reading on the sheet that I will show presently, and also, which is the circles that I had behind me, circles divided into 24 segments. And then what we will also do is we will come to Google Earth and we will compare. So what I have done here is I'm here in the UK. What I have done is I've said, okay, say my solar noon is now at this point, and this will start just before my solar noon. So the actual 24-hour session will start just before my solar noon so that I can track and place my solar noon on the charts behind. So here's the sun at solar noon on Saturday, okay? You can plot yours on the equator if you want, that's fine if you want to do this with us. I've just moved it up a little bit because we're a few days away from the equinox. So, but in respect to the longitudes, this is fine, okay? It's easier to see if it's a little bit further away from the equinox because these lines, these numbers don't interfere. So as the hours go on, I will be marking every 15 degrees the different points where the sun would be 90 degrees overhead above a globe. So when we come to Puerto Rico or whichever reading, we will do this here too, okay? We will find that just as I showed on SunCalc. The previous program was SunCalc, okay? Here we have it. Now let's say this reading comes in, but we've plotted the sun to be here. Then we can start to really establish how wrong the globe is. If, on the other hand, they give us their solar noon and the sun is here, then that's all fine. We will be checking, placing the sun according to where it is on an azimuthal display and on the globe at the same time. So will you stop sharing me, Chris or Vin? And both of you are muted, so I can't hear you if you're saying anything. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, now Vincent, will you, or Chris, will you display, damn, I should have done it, what Karen made that people can download?
Yeah, certainly.
So in the description, there's a link. The link gives you really this drawing that I have here. It's a PDF. You can download it and you can print it. Now, if you don't have a printer, then you can just draw it yourself. All you need is 2 circles. They don't have to be this distance away. It's just any 2 circles, really. And a division of 24 lines. Now, what Karen's done is more precise than this. I did this on the day and it's just done by eye. But hers is more precise. And what we will be doing is I will be starting at solar noon in the UK. So this vertical line that drops down is depicting 1 p.m. So that's 1 p.m. My solar noon will be around 14 minutes past 1 p.m. So when my solar noon arrives, I will be placing a mark and writing 13:14, which is 1:14, my solar noon. And then we will be continuing. As people find their different solar noons, we will be plotting them the same way that I did here, which is you're tracing the sun as it moves towards the west. Okay, so it's moving towards the west and continuously westwards. Okay, it does this clockwise motion. So if you're in the south, you will be doing the same thing. If you're in the south, you're in Buenos Aires here, you will plot Buenos Aires and the solar noon. So regardless of where you are, you can either plot it on the rim, on the outer circle, or you can plot it on the inner circle. It's entirely up to you. These are just place marks for where it would be on a map like this. I'm going to pull up an old map, a map like this kind of thing. Okay, so when we have the data and it's true solar noon, now this is the most important part. We are not looking for north this time or south. We are looking specifically for the point, the time at which the shadow gets at its shortest point from the gnomon. Okay, so the shortest distance from the gnomon, that's your solar noon, and we want to see it live because we're timing it. We will be timing it from 1 p.m. UK time. That's UTC +1. We will be timing it. There is no other way of establishing distance between if we don't time the sun. How many hours between here and Argentina and the US and Hawaii and New Zealand and Cape Town? So it's absolutely indispensable that we have a live reading of the shortest mark on your shadows. So for this, I would ask that you place marks every 5 minutes or so. As you join us, you place marks every 5, perhaps every 10 minutes as it draws closer to solar noon. And you join us as you place in the final marks. You might be with us for 20 minutes, for half an hour, for an hour, however long it takes for you to establish the shortest shadow, and then continue to place shadows, points at the end of the shadow to truly establish that that was your shortest shadow. We don't want globelings to say they stopped at that point, but if they had carried on, they would have seen that the shadow would have drawn extra short. Okay, we don't want that. We want precision. So that's what we're looking for. And now I'm going to see if Vincent will maybe help share a drawing or design a drawing to depict the tools that you need, which are basically a gnomon, so a vertical standing rod, stick, nail, whatever you have at hand or whatever you can make yourself. The longer it is, the clearer it is to see the movement of the shadow. So you can have 5 centimeters, and please keep this to centimeters. We need to have a general simple rule, and centimeters is much easier for people, and a lot more of the world uses centimeters than imperial. So centimeters it is, the height of your gnomon, and the distance of your shadow. Then we can establish the hypotenuse, which gives us the angle of elevation. So we are doing two things here. One is checking the distance between the land masses towards the west and therefore also towards the east. So the distance between places, and then the layout north to south of these places based on the elevation of the sun, the elevation angle. If you're very much under the equator, your elevation will be very vertical. If you're very far north, it will be much more shallow. And we can establish where you would belong on these lines from your elevation angle. So we need two things: latitude, distance from, we're starting from the UK or wherever you are. Whenever you join, you might have missed a load of readings. That doesn't matter. When you join, you place a reading wherever you want. So you can orient this however you want. I would suggest that you have your starting point down here, okay? For cognitive processing, it's better to have this here because we're familiar with clocks. If you place it there, you're going to have a problem because this point seems nearer to you, so it should be light and all kinds of things, visually speaking. So, gnomon, ruler, paper on which to mark your line, unless you're using a wooden chopping board and you don't mind marking it. So we want you to actually mark the shadows. Now, the second most important thing to this setup of the sundial is that your phone or your camera be static. So once if you join the Hangout and you're on your phone, so once you've joined, you have some mode of placing the camera so it's static whilst we're chatting and you're chatting and you're placing the dots. We want to as close a shot to the end of the shadow and the dot as we can, okay? This will just help people who have doubts about the legitimacy, how correct things are and whatnot. It's okay if you make an error. For instance, if the shadow is here and you make a mark like this and you miss, so you start to the mark before the end of the shadow and you make a mark like this and that's wrong, take your time and put a mark sideways across the end. So don't worry too much if you have a jittery hand. Don't worry too much. Also, if you place a mark and we can see that where Solar Noon is, later when you're measuring it, we can see the distance because we'll remember you placed that mark and it was 3 millimeters short, So we'll add that to the reading. So you need a measuring tool that has centimeters. You will measure from the center of the gnomon to the end of the shadow. And that's it. Vincent, are you with us? You're muted, by the way.
Yes, I'm here. I'm preparing the program.
Did you start the program?
Yep, I was screen share.
All right, cool.
I hope it works now.
I'm stopping presenting myself. Thanks, Chris. Okay, so what Vincent is going to draw now is a circle with a gnomon and an arrow. And a shadow. So if you make an oblate circle rather than a circle, we'll say this is a circle, but it's at 45 degrees from your perspective.
Can you see my screen now?
We can. No pressure. Yes.
Is it not black like last time? No?
It's blacking out sometimes, but if you carry on speaking and doing actions, I think it stays.
Maybe someone have to present me?
Okay, I'll present to everyone.
Is it black then, or?
I'm presenting you to... Oh, sorry, Chris. I think we did it at the same time. I'm presenting... you presented as I presented him, and yours undid mine. Yeah. Okay, so Vincent, a circle.
Yeah, we're going to draw a circle.
And then make it an oblate circle.
Oblate circle?
Yes, so it's not a complete circle. So, like if you have a plate... Karen! Vincent, maybe Karen will be able to do this. Karen, can you hear us?
Hey, sorry. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, crystal clear.
Okay, I was finally able to get in here. Sorry.
Oh, did you have a problem?
Oh,
Right.
Family.
Okay. Yeah. I'm asking Vincent to draw an oblate sphere. So really, I'm asking him to draw a circle that's being viewed at 45 degrees with a gnomon and the shadow. I don't know whether you could do it with your drawing program.
Yeah.
He's doing it now.
Do you need a drawing or can it be a picture of it?
It could be a picture of it. I think Vincent's almost there now.
I have pictures of it.
Yeah, so we'll do both. Vincent, if you now place a stick in the center, actually it doesn't have to be the center, but the center's good. I also urge people we will put a link to Dr. Zach's azimuth protractor, because that's very handy when it gets to a point where it's difficult to discern whether or not the shadow is getting shorter. Because there are so many circles on Dr. Zach's protractor, it's easier to keep track. You can see that, you know, the last shadow was on this side of the line. The second shadow is, you know, on the line itself. So you can discern which way the shadow is going, whether it's closer to the base of the gnomon or more distant. So a vertical stick from the center, Vincent.
Yes, no problem. One moment.
Okay. Karen, I don't know if you heard. I'm going to present Karen whilst you're doing that, Vincent.
I'm done.
Why are you doing that?
Why? Are you done, did you say, Vincent?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So why? Because when the camera goes black, it's kind of, oh, there you go. Okay. So Vincent,
Yeah.
can you draw a black line from the base towards the right?
Yes.
Okay. Just a black line from the base towards the right. It doesn't matter how long. And I'm going to present Karen again because whilst you do that, because it keeps switching to black.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah, it's okay, but it's just it's scary.
It's scary.
So, hey, by the way, Karen, I saw you have the video, your journey to the flat Earth, or your path to the flat Earth. I just started watching. I had never seen it, so I'm going to watch it. Yeah.
Cool. That's beginner. It's beginner flat Earth video.
Well, I saw. I just to have a look to see how it was. I jumped ahead and it landed at a point where it's saying if you steal, I think $900 and something, you can be imprisoned or charged with larceny or something like that. And I thought, oh, okay, I can see where this is going. This is going to be fun. So I rewound it to the start. It's just, you know, when you just don't have enough time. Like today, I spoke with Vincent. I said, okay, we're going to do this hangout. We'll start in 45 minutes. I did a couple of nothing things, and then we only had 5 minutes left. Time had just disappeared. Okay, Vincent, I think you have it now.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm now presenting Vincent.
I hope it's not flickering to black screen.
It is flickering to black screen, and the shadow is not black, but can you change the shadow to black? Or to a very dark grey? Oh, this will do. This is okay. No, it was orange. Yeah, this is better. Okay. It's a kind of a greeny sun, and it's casting an orangey shadow. So
yeah, I can change it, but for me it's flickering right now. So
okay. So yeah, if you can change the color to brown would be good. Oh, by the way, a point of observation for anybody out there who smokes. Okay, this will pique your interest. Next time you're smoking outdoors and it's sunny, look at what color the shadow of your smoke is.
Can I answer?
What color is it? I don't smoke. What color is it?
Go on. What do you think, Chris?
Is it blue?
No.
It's not blue. Okay.
Is it red?
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Yes, it's red.
Huh.
And I think it's different color depending on if you're in the sun, it's red. You know, if it's actual sun that you're in, it's red. If it's overcast, it changes. The color changes. It veers more towards a kind of brown color. It's very interesting. So anybody out there, if you live in a sunny area and you can smoke outdoors, just look at the ground and look at the color of your smoke's shadow, because it's a color you won't expect. You'd expect that it would be gray, kind of. No, Vincent, what's happened?
Just give me 2 minutes. It broke up.
Okay. Wow, that was very strange. There was like a double avatar of me. Yeah, again. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's me.
Yeah.
Do you want me to show my picture? I have a picture up or no?
Yes, please. I will present it to everyone.
Yeah, please do that. I can.
Okay, well, hang on.
Okay.
Are you seeing it?
Yeah, you have Dr. Zach's printout.
Yes.
Gnomon looking pretty much directly towards you, and you have the shadow. Okay, do you have any others that are at a 45-degree angle to the paper, or give or take, something like that?
Well, I guess not, because I usually take a picture of it when it's at noon.
Yeah. Well, Vincent, what I'm showing is I will show it right now whilst Vincent does that. Okay, Chris, will you present me?
Yeah, no problem.
and tell me when you're
Now or
Yeah. Okay. So
Present
this
it
is
now.
your surface. Okay. It's flat. You have a gnomon, and the gnomon is vertical. You've established that it's vertical. You can establish that with a variety of different tools. If you don't have tools, you can. If you have a credit card or a bank card or a library card, any card that has the typical card shape. If you have two of those, you can make a right angle with those cards like this. Place it on the surface. So you have your gnomon and you place one card here and another card there. And basically between the two cards, you can establish a right angle. Okay. So you have a right angle gnomon. Okay. Oh, right now you can see a shadow. Okay. So this is what you want. A gnomon on a level surface. Alexander, who has a channel comments in chat sometimes, he suggested people use door stops or door wedges. So if you have a chopping board and it's not quite level, use door wedges. They're very cheap. Yeah, to level it. Very simple, very effective. Okay, vertical gnomon. Okay, so what the sundial works in two ways. It helps us establish the elevation angle, which is the hypotenuse between the two lines, which is the height of the gnomon and the distance to the shadow, the distance of the shadow. The angle between those two shows us the elevation to the sun, which shows us our distance from the equator, or from where the sun is at 90 degrees, which is now only a couple of degrees over north of the equator. So this is the shadow. The length of the shadow helps us establish our distance from the equator. The time of the shadow of the shortest point helps us to establish the distance between the places. So the distance between the continents, the coastlines, any two places that have a difference in solar noon, it helps us to establish the distance between them. If we're on a flat world, the shadows will have a difference. The distance between places will be constant, but so if we have two readings, one at midday and one at 1 o'clock, and we have solar noons at both north and south, we will see that the distance between the places in the north will be shorter than the distance between the places in the south. And this should be verifiable, like literally verifiable by train journeys, car journeys, anything like this. Because an orbiting sun is going to cast shadows that move at different speeds. The shadows will move at different speeds, not so much the sun. There's not like the sun moves at one speed versus another speed, depending on where you're looking at it. But the shadow that it casts will be different. The shadow will move faster in the south than it will in the north. So, and this is just a perspective, a risotto perspective when you have a light source. So, Chris Drusika. All right, thanks.
Did you get my email too with the circle?
Yes.
Okay.
Could you pull it up, Karen? I meant to show it earlier. If you have it to hand, and I will present you.
I've got it ready.
All right. Do you want to pull it up, Chris? I'll present you to everyone. Oh, wait. No, I'll present some Karen so you can show it without sending out the link.
Let me just wait a second.
Okay. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so now I'm presenting Chris. This is now available in the description of this video that you're watching. So under this video, there's a link that you can click to this, which you can then print out. As I said, if you don't have a printer, you could make one yourself with a ruler and a compass. So this is going to be your sun tracking tool. So if you start, you're not obliged to start. Yeah, that was really cool. You're not obliged to start like I'm going to. I'm going to start at 6 o'clock mark, if you will. If that was a clock, I will start at the line that drops from the center directly vertically down. Okay, that's where I will start the tracking from. When you start, you can orient it so you're starting from whatever time you are, or you can twist it around so that your time is your 6, your vertical 6 p.m. 6 o'clock on the clock. Okay, so that's for you guys, for anybody who's joining, to do the same as I am doing on the board. Okay, So we have two circles, sorry. We have an outer circle and an inner circle. If you take any readings from the north and you place them on the inner circle, so let's say at 3 hours after the sun tracking starts, we have a reading from Ontario, say, or 4 hours. You go to the 4-hour line and you place the reading whenever that happens. If it's 2 minutes 4, so you place it a little bit away. If it's spot on 4, so you can establish, if it's a quarter of an hour past, set it to a quarter of the way to the next line. So basically put it there, but write down the time too, okay? Just in case you've made an error and you've placed it halfway across when really it was 12 minutes past, yeah? So, and then with the south, so Cape Town, Argentina, Brazil, we're going to have a reading from Brazil and a reading from Mexico. That's really cool because they're really necessary for establishing how Latin America, located, how it's positioned. So there you go. You can place your areas on this as it happens. And if it's easier for you to mark times on them from when you start, so you can either establish it from when we start or from whenever you yourself starts, there you go. Now I'm going to show Vincent the drawing that Vincent just did. Vincent?
Yeah, are you presenting me?
Yes.
All right.
So we're seeing there you go. It keeps kicking off. Have you got Skype open, Vincent?
No, nothing. I got nothing open.
Okay, so you see...
Maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. Maybe it helps.
I don't know, but let's see. So you see what we have, the shadow. Oh, there's the shadow, okay? As the sun moves around, the shadow is going to move. The shadow is going to get to a point where it's shortest distance away from the base of the blue stick, of the gnomon. So when it gets to that point, that's your solar noon. And in order to establish it irrefutably, you will mark every few minutes the end of the shadow so it gets to its shortest point. And you will know it's its shortest point because you'll arrive at a point where you make a mark, and the next mark that you make will be slightly longer away, further away from the gnomon, and the next one too, and so on. And there you go. We know when your solar noon was, okay? Thanks, Vin.
You're welcome. I hope it was not too flickery.
No, it was okay. It wasn't too bad.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay, so what I did, I wrote myself a little list of things. Okay, recap. You need a fixed camera when you're plotting solar noon, okay? You're more than welcome to chat to us, before you show the shadows. But once you start to show the shadows, please fix your camera. Don't move your camera around, okay? We're dealing with people who will accuse us of cheating. They will accuse us of moving the camera so we can move the sundial around, all kinds of stuff, okay? So please fix your camera, leave it fixed whilst you're chatting and placing marks. You can place marks every 5 minutes or as you're placing marks on the end of the shadow, okay? So leave it fixed until you have established irrefutably that was solar noon, because now the shadows are getting slightly longer, and that's it. That's your participation. You can then pick up the phone, chat with us, whatever. So fixed camera, be that your phone or any other camera. If you have a really cool camera when you can really zoom in, that would be really good too. But as long as we can see the point where the solar noon happened, and you can establish distance from the gnomon, so how many centimeters, perfect. Now your sundial has to be on a level surface, ideally on a chopping board or on paper, a surface where you can actually place a mark. You don't want to do it on a plate with a pencil and then come to trying to place the marks and it's ceramic and it won't take the pencil. So a surface that you can actually keep a record of. You need a measuring tool that has centimeters. You need a vertical gnomon. We need the height from the surface and the length of your shadow, and door wedges for leveling if you need to level it. So you also need a level. Now, a globing friend of mine...
I'm sorry, did you say that they need the length of the gnomon too?
Yes.
Okay.
The height...
Make sure.
Yes.
The height of the gnomon and the length of your shadow.
Yes, absolutely. That will help us to establish where you're situated in terms of distance from the equator, or distance from where the sun is at 90 degrees above the surface of the earth. be that a globe or a flat plane. So a globe-link friend of mine said, hey, well, if you also use compasses, then you can establish by how much solar noon is off, and you can establish whether or not the magnetic declination is correct. And I thought, that's a great idea. So anybody who's more technically minded or has curiosity based on the magnetic qualities of this world, that would be really good too. If you can show, so you have your board and whatnot, and you establish where north is pointing, but you also, separate from that, establish your solar noon. This is specifically for true solar noon, not north or south solar noon. Now, if it turns out that your solar noon happens to be on the mark that says north, that's interesting. If it happens to be very far away from your mark that is north, that's also very interesting. But both ways, if you have a north and south reading and you have solar noon, we can double check with the data, because the data always seems to be published retrospectively. So last year, this is how the magnetic declination was happening. This year's magnetic declination will be published at some other point. You know, it's always done in hindsight because it's done from records. So yes, that would be interesting. You know, if it turns out, for instance, Karen, that your magnetic declination is supposed to be, say, 7 degrees, okay, or 20, but it turns out that it's rather a lot more than that. That's pretty interesting, you know. So, but that's an extra element. That's just an extra factor. There would be an extra element of curiosity. You know, we might find something extraordinary, we might not, but what we want is the data, the solar noon. That's so. I'm going to go and see who's in the chat. I think I've covered everything. Oh, yes. Okay, so what I did with Karen, Karen and I spoke yesterday. I found an old map, the first map that I first showed when I started doing maps and solar flat earth maps, which was when Cami and I had been talking about map making, and the whole subject of map making started. And Cami and Bob from Globebusters, excuse my French people if there are any children out there, they started getting a lot of shit for not having it produced there, you know. It was like, this is not an easy thing to do, you know. So I sat down to draw one based on what I perceived to be the layout, based on the hours between places. But obviously you have time and dates giving you kind of some readings, and you have maps telling you layout of places, which is very different to what time and date says. So for instance, all of the map have New Zealand 11 hours away, but time and date tells you it's 13 hours away themselves. And you scratch your head and you go, okay, well, 13 one way, 11 the other way. That makes sense. Well, not the way time and date has it. Time and date, if you look at behind me, anywhere this way is called plus. So this is Greenwich Mean Time, and time and date says any hour this way is classed as UTC plus. Okay, well, on azimuthal displays, on time and date, on atlases, on globes, you have New Zealand here. Okay, this would be plus 11, but UTC itself, time and date, tell you that this, which would be UTC plus 11, is not where New Zealand is. New Zealand is UTC plus 13. That's what it tells you. And it tells you that Hawaii is UTC minus 10. So that way. So one is this way plus, and one is that way. So why would they go to plus 13 instead of minus 11? Why do this? Okay, I think this is so people can say, well, it's you don't understand UTC, you don't understand. This is what they do, but this is irrefutable. UTC is marked plus this way from the UK and minus this way from the UK. And New Zealand is plus 13, which places it here. Okay, not at 12, but at 13. That's UTC from time and date, and a whole bunch of other resources, other areas where you can look. Now, when I started drawing the map, first I drew a map, I did a short video about it, and then I corrected it because I remembered some extra details and adjusted it, and I moved South America away, or America Latina away even more. I got sat down yesterday to start redrawing the map based on some of the data we have here, which is not absolutely irrefutable, which is why we're doing it now on true north and true south. And I found the old map, which already has South America relocated a bit more towards where it really is in the real world. So this map is wrong. South America is too far over. Okay, it should be more this way. It's still a lot more to the west than any azimuthal in the real world. I mean, the real world, South America is further west than any azimuthal. The Gleasons, the null skull, any AEMAP, any globe, all of them. South America, much too close to Africa. Okay, so I sat down to redraw. I found this map. I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much easier for me to fix because there's a lot less fixing to do. But obviously we need readings, so we need Mexico and we need Brazil, and we're going to have Mexico and Brazil for the next sun tracking, which is really cool. Hopefully we'll also have Argentina. But if you look at this itself, if you look at the lines and you find where Ontario is, and you look at the difference between Ontario and Buenos Aires, you'll see that it's about 40 minutes, and it's about 40 minutes on the readings. But we'll have to establish this properly with true solar noon. So what I spoke about, so I found this and I said to Karen, you won't believe what I just found, you know. So I'm asking very kindly with my hands like this, like a beggar, for Karen to draw it and maybe put it on top of this display that you've already made. So put one on top of the other and people can see. So when we have, for instance, at this point, say, so at this time, okay, when the sun is here and we have solar noon in Brazil, then you know that you need to redraw this so that Brazil is there, okay? If, on the other hand, it's solar noon in Brazil here and it's Sao Paulo on the coast or Rio de Janeiro, okay, then you know you have to redraw it the other way. So I don't know, Karen, what do you think? Do you think that would be useful for people to mark it on the map and say, dude, this is where Sao Paulo is, this is where Mexico City is, this distance away, this is where it is?
Yeah, I think it would be. And then they could see visually for themselves the inconsistencies that we're all seeing. Because we could sit here and talk about it, but if you do it yourself, it's cooler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know if you saw that if you screen share me, can one of you screen share me, guys?
Yes.
Do I have to share screen or anything? So if I pull this up, are you seeing anything?
Not yet.
Are you just seeing my face looking confused? So I have to, okay, I have to share screen, I forgot. So share screen, please don't present me, okay? There, present to everyone.
No.
Ah, never mind.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so this is for Karen. This is what I explained when we first came on, Karen, okay? Mm-hmm. So we'll start from solar noon my time. Actually, we'll start from 1 p.m. UTC +1, okay? Which is only a few minutes before solar noon, true solar noon in the UK, okay? So this line is telling us that this is 1 p.m., okay? And I'm saying that a few minutes later will be solar noon where I am, which is here in the UK, okay? I'm here. So when I have solar noon, this will be where the sun is on the globe. This would be where the sun would be at 90 degrees or above the head of anybody if they were on a boat here, okay? And any places along this line would have solar noon too. 1 hour later, the sun will be 15 degrees away, and so on, and so on, and so on. Now, when we get a reading from Brazil, we already have the mark for England. If the reading from Brazil comes 3 hours later, that would place it here, okay? So it would be a reading from here. But if we're told the reading is from here, then this is wrong. However, if what happens is 3 hours later, we get a reading from Brazil from here, okay, from a line along here, then we know that this distance, this layout on Google Earth is completely wrong. And this is one of the things that I'm the most dedicated to, because this is completely wrong. So I'll give you for instance, when it was, and this was when we were checking solar noon from, according to north, okay? Magnetic north. So here's Ontario, and somewhere here we had a reading around this area, okay? And if you look, this is here, okay? I'm going to scroll down this line. It was the equinox, so the sun would have been here, and anywhere north of that and anywhere south of that would have had solar noon at the same time, okay? And half an hour later, which is 15 degrees later, we had Sol Noon from Argentina, okay? That would bring it here. That would bring the sun here, and Argentina, Buenos Aires, would be somewhere along this line. And as we see, it isn't at all on this display, okay? So on this display, we have Buenos Aires here, and we have the distance between Buenos Aires and the equator established according to the globe. So the shadow, the length of the shadow at Buenos Aires solar noon should correspond. If the shadow is longer, then this would be further south. If the shadow is shorter, then this would be further north. That's the reason for checking the length of the shadow, not just for Argentina, obviously, for everywhere. So that's it. Will you stop presenting me? So that's what I'll be doing, or any of us that are doing this. When somebody jumps on and they say, "Hi, I'm in Cape Cod, California," we see, okay, I will pull up SunCal, Cape Cod, California, find it on SunCal. Okay.
Cape Cod's in Michigan. I mean, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. There's another one in California.
Is there?
Apparently. Let me see. Cape Cod.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just never heard of Cape Cod, California.
It's in Irvine, California, United States.
Irvine? Yeah. Oh, down south. That's Southern California.
Oops, they don't count.
Excuse me, can you see my screen now? Is it flickering?
Let me see. Where? No, it's not flickering now. Yeah, cool. There you go. So yes, there are a couple of different Cape Cods, Karen. I saw when I looked on Cape Town, because if people send me a message saying I'm in this place, it's like I had one from Brazil. I'm in Las Palmas, Brazil. It's like I write it in time and in SunCal, but it turns out there are 3 different ones. You know, oh wow, which one? Anyway, so when somebody says I'm Cape Cod, California, or Cape Cod, Michigan, or Massachusetts, or wherever it is, I will establish which one on SunCal, then on the globe, and then we'll establish that solar noon on the display, and there you go. We have it all set up, and we will see what's more correct, the map that flat earthers make, or the globe that all the geographers, the geophysicists, the astronauts, all the so-called experts of the globe have developed. We'll see which one is more correct, and I can tell you already, the one that is going to be more correct is ours, because we will be able to set ours to the clock. It's going to be as exact as clockwork, and this is why I think they haven't done any 24-hour rotation of the globe business, because they know it's wrong. So if they made a CGI 24-hour rotation of the globe, people in Mexico will be able to say, hey, hold on a second, that looks like it should be solar noon now, but it's not going to be solar noon for another 4 hours. Or, they're showing it as facing the sun now, but we were facing the sun 5 hours ago, or whatever.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so there you go. Oh, now let me go into the chat, and I'm going to see who's there and what's going on. Anything you want to point out, Karen?
I don't know. You're very thorough.
That's what they all say, baby. Yes, no, they don't. It's all say, God, you're shit. Hey, we have George in Serbia. He's in the chat, and Brian Ofsky and Dan Winfield. Okay, so everybody, please, anybody who can share their solar noon as we have described it, with a fixed phone or camera, please do. The more details we have, the more precisely we can place places. God, that was a bit unfortunate wording. We can place the various locations. Okay, so yeah, let's all get together. There's going to be people from more people from Australia, which will be really cool.
Well, hopefully, didn't they miss solar noon last time, or weren't able to get it live? Yeah.
So we got one reading from Brisbane, but it wasn't live. They couldn't get into the Hangouts. But this time we will. There's going to be various different, and I'm going to promote the hell out of this, to get as many people on as possible. And also, it's a Saturday, so it should be good.
Yeah, I was going to say doing it on the weekend is good, because then the Monday through Friday 9 to 5er people are going to be able to participate.
Yes, and also maybe involve the children too, which will be interesting for the parents and the children, to engage in something fun like that. I urge anybody who would rather not have their children on YouTube. I know that some people are very, very cautious. Me myself, I won't show mine. But and not because of any weirdness, just it's a personal thing of mine. If they would love to sit here next to me, I would love it, you know. But anyway, anybody who's happy to show their children, brilliant. There's no rights being asked or offered or anything like that. Okay, so it's a caveat. You show what you show. There's no saying, oh, can you now remove this because I showed this? Like, nope, sorry. It's a live hangout beyond our control. It's all in the powers of Gandalf and his boss.
Basically, bear in mind that when you're ready to broadcast and show your setup, your experiment, your solar noon, whatever's passed is in the hands of yourself. So when you activate the camera on, control over what gets shown. So just bear that in mind.
Yes, that's absolutely right. So, I mean, they'll be outdoors, hopefully, and there won't be anybody. It would be fine. Oh, also, we have made an email. What is it, Vincent? You're muted.
thesuntracking@gmail.com.
Yes, thesuntracking@gmail.com. Anybody who's interested in joining, please send us an email. Let us know your location, who you are, when.
Yeah, I'll just finish off Antonio's sentence for him. There's an email that I've just linked in the live chat. There's also, and the email is in the description of this broadcast underneath. So contact us to give us a bit of a heads up. We don't have to, but it'd be beneficial for us if you do. Where you're from. I was going to say, I think I'm just going to message Antonio now and let him know that because he's probably waffling away there.
I'll let him know right now.
I'll find it. Cool. He's actually gone offline, so.
Here it comes.
No, he's here.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I dropped then, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just as I was giving a really good explanation.
The last words out of your mouth were in participating. Drop us a line with the email, and then that's all we heard.
Yes. So, well, I'm going to repeat it. If you're interested, send us an email. Tell us your location. If you want to tell us your name or your channel name, if you have a channel or anything that you want to say, let us know your location and when you're expecting your solar noon to be. Now, I'm urging people who have not joined Hangouts in the past to maybe tell us when your solar noon will happen, but also tell us how long before solar noon we can send you a link so that you can test your equipment, because we've had trouble in the past with people that couldn't join the Hangout, and you start panicking because your solar noon is coming and you need to update systems or whatever. So if you want to say, hey guys, my solar noon will happen in 3 hours time and I'd love to test the Hangouts, we'll send you a link. You jump in, you say, hey guys, I'm just testing my equipment, is everything coming through okay? We say yes. You say, brilliant, I will see you near a solar noon. See you then. Then you drop and you go about your business. You get really anxious about all the questions that people have about your voice, the way you look, the way you said special things, all of those things. Get paranoid to the hilt, and then join the Hangout and see that all that paranoia was just totally worthless. So that's the thing to do. I mean, if you have any problems,
also to quickly add as well.
Go on.
Sorry, carry on, Antonio.
No, I finished. I was just going to say another silly thing. So go on.
Okay, can I just quickly add as well? If it's somebody that we don't know, that we haven't been in communication, please leave enough time. I would say, to be safe, 40 minutes. I'll say before your solar noon comes up, because we may well have to take you to a separate account first before we give you the link to the actual Hangout. That's not because we're messing you around. It's just because in the past people have played pornography on the sun tracking, and it's a way to basically disrupt and get it pulled down. So we're going to have what's the word I'm looking for? A vetting process, so that we're going to give you we're going to take you to empty rooms first, verify that everything's set up and you are here for genuine reasons, not because we're being funny or elitist, or we're not messing you around. We just don't want any disruption or nonsense.
Yes.
So please do leave enough time.
Yes. Also, we can vet that it's not somebody who's going to mess us around, which is important, because there are people who are interested in this not taking place. But also, when Chris says empty room, you won't be in a Hangout on your own. There'll be one of us there. establishing that you're a normal person, first of all. But also we can help in case we need to troubleshoot with your equipment, with your mic, with your camera, with anything like that, without taking up time on the other Hangout. Because if you jump on, but you can't switch your camera on, and we're looking at somebody else's solar noon, it's just a lot easier to keep things more mellow, less stress. We don't want stress. Stress is not good for you. So what Chris has said, yes, if you're somebody who's unfamiliar to us, and we don't mean somebody that hasn't been on a Hangout, we mean if we've not seen you commenting in chats, if we're familiar with lots and lots of people that we've never been in Hangouts with, but don't let the fact that you haven't been on a Hangout or you haven't made comments in chats dissuade you. It's a good way of saying hi, and if you have a channel, we will tell everybody or you yourself can tell everybody which your channel name is, and just join in. But don't be offended if your link doesn't send you immediately to the Hangout live, but sends you to another Hangout, so we can troubleshoot both, whether or not you're one of those globalings that hijacks other people's names, because that happens too. Okay, you could have a Chris Truthseeker with the same avatar, and obviously it's not Chris Truthseeker because Chris Truthseeker is sitting in the Hangout, okay, or another Antonio Subiras. It happens, people clone accounts. It's a way of verifying everything and keeping it all above board and as mellow as possible, So, and also troubleshoot your equipment, which is the most important thing. I'm expecting very few trolls, I'm expecting all kinds of trolls in the chat, but we have mods to deal with them. Like right now, Gem Panda's in there trying to get some attention. Oops, I just gave him some attention by saying his name. But I'm not expecting too many people to want to join in like they did on the first couple. It would be fine. But it does help you with your equipment. We can tell you, Chris is really good at telling you what you need to do if you need to upgrade your phone and your settings, various different things. And it would be fine. I look forward to chatting and meeting lots of people.
Yeah, me too. If I can say something.
Go on, Vincent, you go.
Well, I'm here the whole week, so even tomorrow or the day after or this whole week, you can test your equipment in my Hangout. I will open a Hangout. You can test your equipment. If you send an email to thesuntracking@gmail.com, I will look at the mail and I will send you a link to this Hangout, tomorrow or whatever, the whole week before the weekend. We can test your equipment, and no, that's what I want to say. We can test it. We can test your equipment and your connection, if everything is all right.
Yes, and if you're watching this and it's Saturday morning and the Hangout is about to take place, don't stress, don't think, oh, I should have. Don't worry, send us an email anyway, and we will include as many people as we possibly can, because the more people, the more readings, the more precise, and we want precision. That's what we're looking for, and it would be greatly appreciated. And yes. Vincent is a glutton for punishment. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know how you don't burn yourself out more. Mind you, yes, I do know, because you take all those drugs that help you sleep for your pain. You were going to say something, Karen.
I was just saying, the more people that participate, the better. It'd be great. And even in for people who are further north and further south in the same sort of longitude, the timeline, that really helps us determine a lot too.
Yes. And don't think that if somebody's showing their solar noon and yours is about to happen, you can't join because somebody else is showing their solar noon. Ideally, we would have simultaneous readings. That is Dr. Zach's dream come true, to have simultaneous readings. He was saying to me, dude, if we could have simultaneous readings, that would be so awesome. And we almost had one with you, Karen.
Yeah. Well, who was that was doing the reading? And what was it? Pennsylvania? Was in Philadelphia? Or
wait 1 second. It was Aurora. Wait a second. I don't remember if it was Aurora at 512. No, I don't remember. But or was it Michigan at 5?
I thought it was Pennsylvania, which is north of me.
We have Michigan. Something in this illegible. Pencil. Oh yes, at 3:33. At 5:33. Sorry. Pencil. Yeah, 5:33 was Pennsylvania, and you were also trying to get on at the same time. So, and it's 5:33 from my time, like UK time. Obviously, it was Solenoon for you, but yes, simultaneous readings are more than welcome. Okay, so please don't be shy if your Solenoon is coming up and you haven't, joined, because we're entertaining somebody else. Okay, everybody, welcome. If we could have simultaneous readings, that's for Dr. Zach, that is a dream come true. If we have readings that are off by a minute or two from each other, that's also very, very ideal. Okay, so yes, do join us and show. And for people in Australia, okay, please familiarize yourself with your Solenoon, because if you run from time and date, you will be off. Okay, we had somebody join us last time. They thought they had 20 minutes to go before their Solenoon, 15 or 20 minutes to go before their Solenoon, and they had their setup and they'd missed it. They had already missed it. Okay, so it's important that you familiarize yourself between now and then to when your Solenoon actually happened from your location. Okay,
yeah, and if you can check the day, check the day before.
Yes, so
check it the day before.
It shifts very gradually, a couple of minutes per day, depending, but familiarize yourself with your Solenoon and the discrepancy between your Solenoon and time and date. So, familiarize, check the day before if you can. We know that it's now getting to autumn over there, so hopefully you'll be able to, have breaks in the clouds, or if you're not having completely cloudless days, if you check the day before, that will give you the closest reading. If you checked today, and you relied on that, by Saturday, you might miss it by 5 minutes. So, so yes, please familiarize yourself. The guys in the south, or everybody in the south, please familiarize yourselves. We have Cosmic Surfer, who's in Rolf, who's in Cape Town. Now he's been familiarizing himself a lot. So I'm very much looking forward to that reading compared to mine. If I might actually start the Hangouts half an hour before we actually start the experiment, just so I can see, or so we can see, Solenoon in Cape Town, because it happens half an hour or so before mine. So yes, that Rolf, if you can hear, the Hangout will go live a while before. Anyway, it's good. We can all socialize for a little while, and then when 1 o'clock starts, it's like clapper. Here we go. We start. I might get one of those clapper boards. Yeah. So there you go. That's it. Anything else anybody would like to chime in? I will be having the Trailer Park Boys, or I might play another piece of music for the start, which Karen suggested yesterday. But I need to check that it's not going to get it pulled. So, but that would only be for the start. God, that would just drive you nuts if it was all the time. Even though there are long montages, of it, everybody will be doing press ups and stuff. It would be great. So, Karen, anything extra?
So we're not doing a set length for the gnomon, right? We're just telling everybody to measure it.
Yes.
Okay.
Measure the gnomon. I know it's ideally it would be 5 centimeters or 10 centimeters, and not like 11.5 or 8 centimeters and 75 mil, Yeah. Ideally, it just makes it easier for Zach at the end of the day and Karen to work with the figures.
Yeah, mine is 7 centimeters, the one I always use.
Yeah, you just like making things complicated for yourself, don't you?
That's fine.
Yeah, but yes, the most important thing, that you have a sundial set up, and that the distance between the top of your gnomon and the base. So the surface, that measurement, and the length of the shadow. That's it, pretty much. It's very simple when you say it like that, but really, you have to go and make yourself something. So, anything else? And I'm going to wrap up if not.
I don't believe so.
Okay, I'll be doing another short hangout tomorrow, just because in case there are people that miss this because it doesn't show up on their feed or whatever, and trying to get as many people involved as possible. So I'll be doing, this is a countdown. This is 6 days to go. Tomorrow it will be 5 days to go. And so on and so forth. So Okay, so we go on tomorrow's. We will have what Karen made, which is this simple 2-circle drawing with 24 divisions, and we will have Zach's azimuth protractor. If you want it, I urge everybody to use it because it will help you see what's happening with your shadow. And maybe we'll also have the map drawn over the circle, the tool. This is the sun tracking tool. We'll see. And everybody join in and draw on it. So, make it out of paper, make yourself a various different copies and plot where you think things are.
I did have one question now I remember that I wanted to ask. As far as that circle sheet, did you want to put any sort of time notations on it, or do you just want it open? Because I thought about marking universal time or whatever on it so that everybody was sort of marking it the same way. But I guess it doesn't really matter, but I wondered what you thought about that. Oh, he fell off.
Oh, no.
He fell out again.
He probably doesn't know, though. That's the thing. Well, he will know because you were halfway through a sentence, so he will have heard you cut off speaking. So he should be back momentarily. But in the meantime, we're just going to have to keep the breeze.
Still streaming, so we got no problem. I will contact him right now.
Cool. Yeah, all the information I've been in the chat. If there's any additional questions, you can always use the contact email address that we've set up, which is thesuntracking@gmail.com. I've put links to videos. Obviously, if you're still unsure, you can watch the links to the videos that I've been putting every couple of minutes in the live chat watch page. It's underneath that video, and you can always watch this video yet again just to sort of firm up and cement what you need to do. And if you need to see what it actually looks like, there's always the 4 videos that we did, which shows many examples of the experiment setup, not the experiment, the recording tools set up as it should be. Welcome back.
Hello, people. I don't think I was sniped. I think I had Google Earth and various different things playing. You were asking, Karen, any time annotation on that, on the drawing. Okay, I think if we leave it blank, people can decide for themselves how to place the times. Okay, we could place 24 hours on it, but I think this might interrupt or make it, I don't know, maybe a bit confusing for people if they have to write a couple of details on the same line. It might get scrabbly, but as it is, people can decide which one they're going to run from. So if they join us as we start, then they can copy mine. Like I said before, this is going to be my starting point, and people can start at the same starting point. But if they want to start from this starting point, that's fine too. Wherever they decide to start, that's fine. I would suggest that you start from this starting point if you join us, and if you don't, that you just watch what point we're at and you pick it up from there. So say you join us 4 hours after we started, then you're in the US or in Canada, and we're placing a mark here for Ontario, that you place your mark there for Ontario too, and go on from there. This would be on display behind us. Okay, I'm hoping to also have Karen, if you're with us for some of the time, if you could, on your diagram, if you could place areas there as and when they happen, then we can share that and people can copy what you're doing. So if they've missed a whole load of them, then they can just copy them they can freeze the video. I'll be doing that too. So I will be showing SunCalc, so your location, the location of the person giving us the reading on SunCalc. I'll be showing the supposed location of the sun on Google Earth. I'm finding the location of the person giving us the reading. So, and this will show discrepancies with Google Earth. And then I'll be showing, for when you're not with us, Karen, your diagram with this. I'll have this behind me too. In fact, I'll make it bigger so it's a bit easier to see, and we'll do the same thing. So people can just allocate time according to as and when it happens. It's absolutely indispensable that the time be kept, okay? We're establishing distance between. Now, some of my Globelink friends said what you need is really, really clear images of the dots for solar noon, and it could be done anytime and they could just send it to you. And I said, well, then how do you establish the distance between here and there? You'd have to go and look at time and date and see what the distance is between here and there. We don't want to see what the globe tells us. We want to see what the real world tells us. And there's a difference between the two. One is a theory, and the other one is called the real world. So that's what we're establishing. We're establishing the real world, and some people have a problem with it. And when you point out to them what's absolutely indispensable to establish the difference between real world and theory, they don't get it. They can only see the theory idea of it. It's just simple cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
It's dismaying, though, when it's intelligent people and you say, well, how would you establish the distance between the place? And they just blink. They blink at you and they don't answer, Dude. Right. Anyway, anything else?
Yeah, could I just quickly address something that somebody said in chat, and I hear this quite a lot. Somebody said that they don't see it going any further than, okay, we've established that it's flat, now what? Well, there's many different aspects for that, but just briefly, one of the most important things is that NASA has a budget of $1 billion a year. So if they're not spending it on space travel, don't you think the American taxpaying public are going to be pretty annoyed that that's been basically stolen off them? And there's got to be a pretty darn good why we're being lied to about our environment. So, it depends how you look at the situation. Perhaps you should take a much broader view of the bigger picture.
Yes. So when people say, okay, so we established that it's flat, then what? It's like, oh, okay, maybe the person saying that should take some time to establish whether or not their perception of the world is beneficent to themselves, to the family. Because that attitude is the same as this. You're on a journey, okay? And between now and some other point, there's an oasis. And you say to the people, hey, between now and some other point, there's an oasis. And the oasis is that way. And people, whilst you're heading to the oasis, saying, yeah, the oasis, and then what? First you get to the oasis. It's an oasis. You can chill there. Then you can plan the next place. This is how people make it across the freaking Sahara, So the now what really is asking, I would like everything in the world to be fixed completely. And I don't see how establishing the flat earth will it fix everything completely. It's like, well, wake up, live in the real world. You're going to stump your toe sometimes. Sometimes you'll have toothache. Sometimes there'll be road accidents. Sometimes stuff will happen that you can't predict and you can't decide it shouldn't have happened. Okay, this is the real world. We are here having an experience, and what we flat earthers are doing is establishing oases. That's what we're doing.
Well, and think about this. I want everybody out there who's a flat earther, why don't you think about how you felt the moment that you realized that the earth was not a ball? How did you feel at that moment? And then think about if a whole bunch of people had that feeling at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Talk about an uprising.
Yeah.
And not only this, but think of this, people. Okay, so for there being a big and sudden shift in perception, which is what we're talking about. Okay, it's we're talking, the correct terminology is a paradigm shift. So when your paradigm shift, right now we live in a world where the vast bulk of the population in the West believe that cancer can only really best be treated by doctors with chemotherapy and radiotherapy. Now, when we have a paradigm shift as big as the world itself, it's a lot smaller shift for those people to say, oh my gosh, so these rumors I've heard about cannabis curing cancer are true, or they might be, I'll try it. So in terms of other paradigm shifts in life, they are much more accessible to people who have already been through the biggest paradigm shift possible. So there's an importance to it. But more than that, the reason for the map making, number one, is to show first the globe is nonsense. And when we show that the globe is nonsense with something that we can set to a clock. So Karen and I have discussed this, and Vincent, think of this, people. When what you have here is a correct map of the Earth, you can place it under a 24-hour clock. And as the hands go round, you can at a glance see where it's solar noon on the Earth, absolutely correctly. And at that point, the globe idea will start to basically just crumble and go away, because people will be able to discern that this is true. Not just that it seems thing's valid or not, but that it's true. Because if the map that we establish is different to the globe, then the globe will have to establish our map to wrap around their 3D version. And when they do that, everything goes out of whack, because their ideas about astronomy and various different things are supposedly collated from data from the globe as the globe is now, and the globe is wrong. So all of those astronomers, all of those astrophysicists will start to pay attention to the real world. And when they pay attention to the real world, they will start to see there's no magnetism from some iron core in the center of a globe. Instead, there's magnetism from a source we don't understand. And they will start to look at these sources, and they will start to establish the energy that's already all around us and establish how to use it, as Tesla was imploring people to do. That's the point. This is why I say it's an oasis. The map is an oasis. Once we have the map, all flat earthers can relax and say, yeah, well, look, there you go. That's where you are, and that's where this is, and this is what time it is where you are, and there you go, done. We can relax, then cross the next hurdle. George?
And imagine what a world would be like with free, clean, abundant energy for everyone. And I know that
we can
could
start
be
to progress. Yes, we can start to progress. Okay, when you think of Gaddafi, Colonel Gaddafi, okay, many people don't know this. A lot of flat earthers do. In Gaddafi's Libya, the petrol that was sold, the gas that was sold from Libya to other countries, brought a profit, and that profit was shared amongst all of the people of Libya. It went into their banks. Okay, the gas, the water, everything was free for them to use. It was free. They all partook of the materials in their land. This is something that's possible all around the earth. But first, you have to start establishing what's wrong with people, what's wrong with the earth, which is people think it's spinning through space. And on that spinning earth, there are people who think that a meteorite might destroy everything at any minute. And on those people's minds, is this, I must get mine, otherwise somebody else will get mine. All of those mentalities start to shift, and they shift without political intervention. And this is important. When any political body has established itself, has bent its mind on establishing a utopia, it has ended in absolute atrocities. But when instead you've had a methodical improvement of the sharing of resources, like happened in Libya, it didn't happen overnight. It's not like Gaddafi took over and said, right, that's it. No, it took 40 years. It took a long time. So when flat earthers have established that the earth is flat, when the organizations that run an organized society are running it on a flat earth, then without political bent of mind, it will naturally resolve into a resource-based economy. That's what we will arrive at. And the mentality of people will shift too. So it will not be okay for people to be abusive to other people simply because they don't like them or because they have a different point of view. That will be seen as some kind of something wrong with a glitch in their mentality. And that's what we have now. Right now, we have people who have something wrong with their mentality. Have I dropped?
No, you're here. We're here.
Oh, right. I thought, geez, if I'm I freaking dropped, you know. But yeah, this is it, people. You know, this really is it. And we're not talking airy-fairy, okay? We're trying to be rational and also pragmatic, okay? And the two are not always the same, you know. There's a rational way of establishing that it's okay to kill people. But from a pragmatic point of view, that's not actually okay. You know, it's like, come on, you can rationalize it, you can reason, you can say that's exactly what the New World Order did with the Georgia Guidestones. If we want to establish that on this globe life will continue, we have to kill a lot of people, but it's worth it because it will make sure that the human species continues to flourish. That's the mentality that we're basically that's the mentality that we are very successfully undermining. And that's it. That's the purpose of all of this.
That's right.
Yeah, here. And also, we all want to make a lot of money from gullible flat earthers.
God, don't say that.
You know, there really are people out there who think these flat earthers are doing all of this so that they can make money from doing all of this. And the people who think that they have this filter through which they see the world, which says the only time that I would invest so much time and energy into something would be if I could see money at the end of it. That's the only way that I would do it. So all these flat earthers, they must be doing it that way too. It's like, no, that's just looking at it through this installed filter. There are people who do selfless things all the time.
Yeah.
They're projecting their own mentality.
Yes. Yeah.
I have one question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, hello to everyone. First of all.
Hello. You need to make your mic louder.
Oh
no, it's okay now.
Okay. Okay. Hi to everyone.
Hi, George.
Hi, Karen.
Hello.
Hey, George.
Hi, Vincent. Hi, Chris. Hi, Antonio.
Hi.
Hi to everyone out there. One question. So we are starting with sun tracking in Saturday, half an hour before solar noon in England.
Yes.
So I'm east of you. So my schedule is on Sunday.
Your solar noon will be on Sunday. Yes, you will have just missed your solar noon.
It's great
when we start.
It's great because I was afraid because of weather in Saturday. They said that will be cloudy and in Sunday it will be sunny. So it's super.
Excellent. That's really
Excellent.
good. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we will also have readings from Sweden and hopefully Norway too, and also Russia, because Sergey will be joining us too.
From Murmansk.
Yeah. So this is really cool. You know, the only person I haven't really heard back from is Sebastian in Buenos Aires, but I think he might be having problems that are not strictly flat Earth, globe-based problems. So we will see. Hopefully, he will be able to join us.
Yes, and I must force the Alexander from LA to participate in this.
Yes. I don't think you have to force him. I think he will want to because...
yeah, he is our guy.
Yeah.
Do we have anyone in Hawaii? Anyone confirmed in Hawaii?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We might have two. I've not heard back from Joey Rocha yet, but he's in Hawaii, and we have hopefully the same guy that joined us last time from Hawaii,
Dave.
Kofo. Yeah, Dave. Dave Hinkle, is it?
No, Dave Hawaii. Dave
Hawaii. Yes, of course, not Dave Hinkle. Dave Hawaii and Kofo 72. Hopefully from New Zealand, but we had two readings from New Zealand last time. We were really fortunate.
Yeah, Mark.
Yes.
Mark CKA King.
Yeah. So. Yes, it will be good. And one of the ones that some of the readings I'm most looking forward to, apart from Cape Town, are Brazil and Mexico. That will be very cool. The readings from Brazil and Mexico. There you go. That will help us establish very much the relationship between the two.
Now your face is shining.
Yes. It's because I'm looking forward to it.
Is that the new password?
What, me?
No, now your face is shining. I think he was making a joke.
Yes. No.
You had a password last time.
Yes. No, I have to tell you. So I go to get my passport. Everybody, I don't know, some people might know this. I go to get my passport and stuff, and they say, photograph. I'm like, damn, I forgot to get the freaking passport photo. So I go, they tell me where to go. It's a photo camera shop. It's not one of these booths that you sit in and you put £5 and they take photos, because you can see yourself in the little thing and you can fix your hair. Instead, it's a guy who says, okay, stand here. So I stand there. Then he takes some photos and he goes. And my hair's like just really bad. Okay. My face is like this. And I have that now for the next 10 years. So
like this?
Exactly.
I have the same haircut for 30 years.
Right. So, okay, I'm going to wrap up unless anybody wants to include anything more. Chris, Vincent, George, Karen.
No.
Okay, Vincent.
Well, yeah. What I just said before. Even tomorrow or the whole week, just send the email to the new email that we have, the suntracking@gmail.com, and I will help you even tomorrow with the setup or with the connection or whatever. whatever. I will help you with anything.
Brilliant, brilliant. And come back tomorrow. We'll have another one of these. If you want to go to the description of this one and look at the drawing, if you have a printer, by the way, the drawing was made by Karen, so thank you very much to Karen. So print it out if you have a printer. If you don't have a printer, you can have a look at it and maybe draw it yourself with a ruler, pencil, and a compass, or a pen, better, in case you need to make corrections. And that's it. You have your own sun tracking tool. And check back tomorrow. We'll have extra goodies in there. We'll include Zach's protractor and maybe a couple of other things.
Well, I have one more question. Sorry.
Okay.
How can I use my telephone for recording?
You don't. You not for. Oh wait. Are you talking about for solar tracking or for the?
Yes, for solar tracking.
Okay, so we don't want a recording for solar tracking. We want live hangout like now.
How can I do that? I don't know how to do it.
So this is.
Sorry. Go, Antonio.
I was going to say this is what Vincent just said. If you go there, he can explain everything. But you can explain it to him now, and there might be people listening who will value it.
It's a good idea. I think maybe somebody else is listening now and wondering how to do it.
Okay. First thing, do you got Google Hangouts installed on your phone? That's the first thing you can do. It's download the app Google Hangouts.
Okay, it's in Play Store.
Yes, it's in the Play Store, and for an iPhone, it's in the App Store.
I don't have iPhone.
It doesn't matter.
I have Android.
Yeah, well, in the Android is in the Play Store. Yep, you will find it. And otherwise,
Google Hangout.
Yeah, Google Hangouts. So for everybody who's listening, if you download the Google Hangouts app on your phone, you can install that, confirm with your phone number that's you, and then you got the application on your phone, and you can join with your phone. If somebody needs help, I can help you all week.
Okay. I found Hangouts, Google, but in right corner it's writing up a date, so I already have.
You could. It could be that you already have it, only update, and then if you have the last update, you can join. Yep.
Okay, I will contact you if there would some big problems.
Yes. Let me give a shout out to FPV. One second. I want to give a shout out to FPV Angel, who made it looks like a permanent a continuous hangout about the sun tracking. So anybody he's sharing it. So anybody who wants to go and have a look at it, he's playing really mellow music. So just that I'd say that. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. Once you've established that you have the application Hangouts on your device, whether it be an iPhone or an Android device, the application is a Google application, so it is actually made by Google. And as soon as you've got the join link, once you click that link, it will ask you to open the link of the application Hangouts, and you obviously confirm. And then as soon as you've got the application Hangouts installed, then that join link will take you straight into the Hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
Did you understand that?
But you can always practice with it first.
So on the phone, how I get the link for Hangout?
I will send it to you, and you press the link, and then it will bring you to the Hangout.
You will send to me via mail?
By mail, or even in another Hangout, an off-air Hangout. I will send you the link. You can click on it, like Chris Trusicker just said, and your application will immediately join the Hangout.
Can you do it now?
We can do it after the show. Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, it's like this. Okay, do you have access to your email through your phone, George?
Yes.
So you will go to your email. You will open the email. There will be something that you hit for Hangout. You hit it. It will tell you, do you want to do this? You say yes, and then you're in.
Great. It is simple as that I thought.
Yes.
Yes, it's very simple.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Chris.
Felix Siam is saying, but first log into Hangout. So we will pass you a link. You will go and follow the instructions. It will tell you need to log in. So you log in.
even if
you just
if you
log in
haven't-
using
even
your
if you haven't
Google.
logged in. Yeah, even if you haven't
Sorry.
logged in, it will prompt you to log in anyway. So as long as you've got that link and you can access the link on your phone, then you're good to go. And obviously, the application needs to be up to date, and it will prompt you to do everything else, whether you need to log in or whether you need to give permissions as well. Obviously, you might need to give permissions for the application to use your microphone and your camera. So you have to grant the permissions. So you just say yes on the on-screen prompts.
Okay, I didn't hear everything because I have some problems with my internet connection, but I think I get it. I get it.
Okay, cool.
Someone in the chat is saying, is this open to someone like me?
I just replied to him. So for the sun tracking, yes, send us an email and then show us your sun. And that's it. And voila, you're in. You show us you watched the rest of this, what's already been on, because it sounds like you might have just joined, in which case watch the rest of this to see what it is that we're looking for exactly. And then join in and share your sun. Where are you, Mikey boy?
And Flat Earth Dave says, I know the world is flat. Why do we keep doing experiments? This isn't really an experiment. This is us trying to map the flat Earth. We know it's flat too. We're just trying to figure out where they're lying to us as far as the map goes.
And once we have it, you see, you can't take away from the mentality of people, you can't take away an idol like the globe and just leave a void there. Okay, that would cause a lot of nervous breakdowns in people. You need to have integrity, to have an integral personality. You have all kinds of stuff from memories to experiences that make you who you are. You can't remove one of those things and expect people to just go about the day totally fine. All we flat earthers, one of the foundational things, one of the things that made us us was knowing that there was something deeply wrong with the world. And then finding out, Jesus, it's the actual world itself that's wrong. It's flat. It's not a ball. So we've already been through that. You can't remove that from other people and expect them to be okay. You have to remove it and say, this is the truth. Then they can plant their feet on that and they can establish themselves on that. And it's important. Now, it's important that we don't cause suffering, as much suffering as we can avoid, we should avoid. Now, there'll be suffering that we can't avoid, and you shouldn't not proceed because suffering will happen. But as far as we can minimize suffering, yes. So one of the ways to do this is to be truthful and be honest with people. And this is one of the things. You can't pretend to people that they're on a spinning globe. You know it's flat. They think it's a spinning globe, and you pretend like it's okay. That's not good. You can say to them, yeah, you can carry on your spinning globe, but that's just a fantasy, and carry on with life, you know?
And I thought something's wrong with me. Oh.
Yes, this is what happens. One of the things that I'm hoping to do once this has been established properly is taking it to the Psychological Society, the Royal Psychological Society in the UK, because it will have to be accommodated. And one of the ways that it would be accommodated is by basically establishing how many people who have long-term mental illness have a long-term mental illness based on a paranoid suspicion that there's something deeply wrong, and they can't put their finger on what that is. So they will have to be protocols put in place to sort that out, to fix that situation, because it might turn out that a lot of these people become much better once they can point their finger at the thing that was causing a suspicion in them. You know, like Karen said, this is just one stage. There are much, much wider implications to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking in chat. Right, have we finished, guys? Anything else? Oh, RJ is in the chat. No, you can't have a link. We're quitting. We're wrapping up. No, I don't mean, I'm not being rude, but I do want to wrap it up. I don't want to make this like a 4-hour session that people go, oh God, another 4-hour session thing. So, but RJ, I hope you share your sun on the day. Guys,
Okay, guys. Good night.
Yeah, I have nothing else to I was just thinking, I have nothing else.
Okay.
No, me neither. If somebody wants help, go to the email and I will help you the whole week.
Yes. What's the
Thank you,
email
Vincent.
again? What is the email again, Vincent?
thesuntracking@gmail.com. thesuntracking@gmail.com.
thesuntracking@gmail.com. I just wrote it a minute ago. I just wanted you to say it. The more times we say it, the more people will hear it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I can put myself in loop.
and add some music, and there is a new song.
Yes. Do you know what? I did a thing where I had Trailer Park Boys playing, and somebody went in and said, "This is not as good as the other music." I'm like, dude, this is the other music. This is the same music. So, right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up. Karen, thank you very much for the drawing and for being you and bringing the things that you bring. George, thank you very much. Chris, thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
And Vincent, thank you very much too for everything that you do. I have to say that Vincent and Chris, they should get as much applaud, because I got a lot of applaud from this, a lot of kudos from people, and these two guys should get it at least as much. Okay, and same with Karen. And out of the scene, so should Zach, even though some of the time I'm pretty sure that he's kind of watching, quietly.
He's lurking. I call him the Flat Earth Ninja.
Yes. He's such a cool mofo. Mm-hmm. I said to him, I know what you're doing. You're making yourself an enigma. And he just kind of blushed a little bit. And I thought, no, you're not. You're not making this up. But yeah.
Don't worry, Antonio.
What?
Here I mention Vincent and Chris and Karen every time when I talk about this topic.
Cool. Well, don't forget to mention me. Oh, come on. I can't believe none of you laughed your heads off at that. I thought it was hilarious.
I was laughing, but muted.
I was laughing. I was muted.
You know what was very funny?
Right.
You know what was very funny?
What was?
When you said, and that first video with, I don't know what is. It was me.
Oh, yeah, with the continent.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Now, what the hell? That was, yeah, anyway. I actually thought I might upload it, re-upload it. There's a lot more flat earthers now, and lots of flat earthers will just watch snippets of different people's channels, or I might just remake it. But it's true. It's like, hold on, it's solar noon in Riyadh at the same time, pretty much, that it's solar noon in Moscow. What the hell? Moscow's sun is not under the horizon. So what are they doing with the blue marble? So it's midday in Moscow when it's midday in Riyadh, people. So look at the blue marble again. Right. Okay. That's it. Wrap it up. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Karen, George, Chris, and Vincent, and everybody watching out there. When I close this, I'm going to miss you all. See you all later.
We missed you already.
Bye all.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you later. See everybody in the weekend.
Yes, you will. And you'll see me tomorrow because I'm doing another one of these. Karen and everybody else, if you want to join, I'll be doing another one of these. Just saying that pretty much the same kind of. Right. Thanks, guys. Bye all.
Bye.
Good night.
Right.